Hello everybody, and welcome back to another game from the European League of the Spring Regionals competition. In this match we have, as the Hunters, the Demeter against Ondra playing as Dracula. We've just joined the game on day 3 here, but that's absolutely fine. I assume nothing really big has happened. Nope, no hide scouts or anything. Dracula's done a dark call after putting down the first encounter. Yeah, apologies, no camera today because I'm sitting here eating my dinner at the same time, and I don't think, as much as I want to showcase the brilliance that is pan con tomate and jamon serrano, I don't think you want to be watching me during the match eating. So I'll turn the camera off. So if I go muted for a little bit, then you'll know why. But that's fine, especially in the first week, because until Dracula's trail is found, not very much happens. These two players are fairly normal things in the Discord pile. Fairly close together in the league, so I think they're only like maybe one win separating them, I think. So we'll see who can get the upper hand in this one. Oh, nice Mystic Research being played early. I don't mind that necessarily. Sometimes I prefer to hold it. What does Mina have? She has renewed vigor. Shame that Dracula knows about it, but you know, better to have it than not have it. Stake on Mina is also good. What to discard? Great Wolf. Okay, well, given the fact there's so many Dracula cards at the top, maybe the Hunters feel that they need to try to get a few more events early, and I can completely understand that. Okay, dinner has been demolished. So get back to the game. So the only thing really noteworthy though, I think, was the fact there was a wax cylinders, but there was no hide. Obviously, rumour token for the hunters now to worry about. So if they don't get a newspaper soon, then that could be quite a lot of points coming Dracula's way, if it is indeed a vampire. I don't know. I think everybody night supplied. I can't. I wasn't keeping track exactly of who night supplied. Oh, interesting. That sounds like that feels like a hypnosis to me. You don't day trade with Mina unless it's going to be hypnosis, unless she was full up on events and he wanted to get one of them off. Ah, the renewed vigor is gone. Yep, so that was just freeing up a space, I think. Maybe just like 3 really good events. Oh, that's okay. You got some night supplies, so day trading isn't so not such a disadvantage. Normal things. Oh, well, there is a hypnosis. Never mind, there is a hypnosis. Oh, wow, he was actually right beside him, so he could have done psychic scan. Oh, oh, wow. Okay. I mean, you all know my opinions on hypnosis, that I'm not a huge fan of it being used early, but maybe there's no newspaper and Rossco wants to find this rumour token much earlier. But the problem is, though, we don't know. Did he start in Hamburg and Dracula's walked down this way? Or did he start east, is heading across this way? We don't know. That's the problem. We don't actually know where this location is. So the Huns have got to do a little bit of deducting here. And also get a little bit... I don't say lucky, like in a negative sense, but you're going to have an element of luck just picking the right location to land on. It could be Athens as well, and he's gone up Athens, Valona, Sarajevo. I mean, there's no hide scouts, right? Yeah, no hide scouts. So this could be Athens. And the thing is, then Dracula could wolf form into the center of the map, because Godalming and Mina are going to have to go and start dealing with these things. That's why that's one reason why I'm not a fan of hypnosis early, is just because of the fact that it tells you Dracula's current location now, but it doesn't actually reveal anything about the trail later on, or the trail down the line. Hypnosis is good for when Dracula's wolf formed or Dracula's left to sea and you don't know which direction he's gone in, and then he lands. You can just find out immediately where Dracula is. That's really good. But I'm dead set against using it first week. But I know there are other hunter players who are very much they think opposite to me, and that's absolutely fine. That's why I love this game so much. Everyone's gonna have their slightly different ways of playing. Imagine if there's no newspaper here, then the situation becomes, if you've got a hypnosis but you hold on to it forever, you never get newspaper. Well, maybe you should have played hypnosis. It's all that game, right? When do you pull the trigger on hypnosis? Dracula has to use this information now. The fact that hypnosis is being used, there's only one copy of this, so Dracula has to use that to his entire advantage. Yes, it's not good for Dracula that Huns know where he is, but if he walked into Austria-Hungary, then there's always a chance he's going to psychic scan anyway. So let's see. So yeah, Athens would be a good place to go towards. Galatz, the Black Sea coast, and just try and sort of narrow this location down. Obviously, Godalming moving will give you some information. I would just go straight to 49 here. Okay. Oh, so it has horses too. Okay. And it looks like the horse economy is all nicely set up. I see. Playing hypnosis will be worth it if they find this space. If they don't find the space, then I'd rather give up 7 points but have the hypnosis for later. But then imagine, oh wow, she's got horses too. Wow, my god, everything's all set up. Hell's bells. Okay. Well, fair play to Rossco. Has got his horse economy all set up and got all the horses out on the right. Well, the people who I like to have horses on. Oh, I would have gone to 49 because if it's in Athens, you can't get there now. But okay. But then he could also be in 49 right now. But he also could be in 53 right now. That's the problem. You don't want to walk into him. Ah, yeah. Unless he might play. Oh, maybe he'll play the renewed vigor, but then he's not going to get to Athens anyway. Do you just sense of? Do you have sense of emergency and just sense of emergency your way onto Athens? Go to Bucharest. When Bucharest on the trail, you just sense of emergency into Athens. No, he's not. That's deduction, right? Oh, okay, well, that's okay for the Hunters because it's 6 points, not 7. So you're not going to get that critical 1 point. So then you have to... Jack has to move 1 day fewer. Just imagine, Draco could be 59 right now. And then he wolf forms. Oh no, moving normally. Maybe he wants to save wolf form for later, and that's understandable. Might get to Munich and then wolf form. Or maybe he isn't even moving up this way. We don't know. I would just assume it's Athens. But it could easily be somewhere in, Black Sea coast. Oh, good try. I mean, yeah, Galatz is a popular starting point too. It's stuck in that little corner there. We can get to it with 2 yellow rail movements. Two yellow. There you go. Get that right. Okay, so it looks like unless Mina ends up going into like Constanta and it's there, it looks like the Hunters are going to be 6 points down. So it's a good start for Dracula. Interesting that Van Helsing came off. I'm just thinking, like, imagine if this card is actually Hide Scouts. But then you could have only supplied it today. Mina might not be able to get there. I guess you just check 50? 49? Well, that's good to know that he hasn't gone past you. So that's alright. So she went from 53 to 59. Well, when this vampire matures, we'll see the location where it was. And because of the way this Dark Hole is here, there are only 2 encounters that are going to get wiped, not 3. So the Hunters have a little bit more to deal with than they would have done normally. Well, no. No, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. It doesn't matter if there's an encounter or not, all the 3 get wiped anyway. What am I talking about? Utter shite, apparently. Why are you all subscribed to me? I just... all 60 of you. Why are you subscribed? Listening to my utter pish all day long. I don't know if that would make sense if you're not Scottish, but I'll say another one for you. I am an absolute bam. There you go. Oh, in Valona, yikes! He could have actually got there, but then he might have jumped over it. Ah, man, missed opportunity, but that's okay. It's okay. So how did he do that? He went from Valona I guess he went to Sofia and then to Sarajevo? But then where did he go after that, right? He's trapped himself. So he must have gone 50, 49, and then to 55, 50, 49 was when the scan happened, I think. Then 6, and then went back to 10? Oof, I don't know. Six points for Dracula, which is good for him. Hunters have now just had the priority of finding him. The trail isn't close to maturing, so they got a bit of time for all that stuff. Okay, yeah. I'd probably prefer to rail on the top way. Oh, that's a good card. Ah, interesting. Okay, so he hasn't somehow... I think it would have been pretty difficult, but he hasn't snuck round this way. So he must be, like... He... 55... Oh, maybe when 55, 46, 50, 49. That's when the hypnosis happened, I think. And then 6, 10. And now he's on this coast now. Hmm. Yeah, because 49 would have got wiped. No, it wouldn't have, because it was Dark Call, 2 spaces. Huh. No, he must have gone to 49 first. How did he do that? 55, 49, 50... No, but he's in... maybe he went to Belgrade. 55, 46, 56, and then to 10. And now he's either gone to Klausenburg or he's on the Black Sea coast. Yeah. I think that's how he did it. I'm just trying to remember the timing of how many things were on the trail when Hypnosis got played. It was the Vampire, Dark Call, and then 2 things, and then he moved. Or maybe it was Sarajevo that got wiped then. 55, 50, 49, then he went 6, 10, and he's either going west or he's on the Black Sea coast. Or maybe now he's gone back to 50. So he's cleared off the trail. Hmm. Well, anyway, interesting, anyway. That's not... I've seen people going to Athens first. I've never seen anybody start in Valona with the encounter. But I guess if there's a... Oh, hidden Bucharest. Ooh, actually managed to... because the wax numbers was used for the deduction, so he's able to hide for free. Hmm. I assume he has a... I was going to say, I assume he has a stake, but clearly not. But he has a lucky find, which is as good as. I haven't been checking the discard pile. Is he going to be able to get a stake out of this? I don't know how many stakes are in the hat. Well, Mina's got 1. I didn't see any being discarded. Are Seward and Van Helsing holding stakes? If not, then there might well be stakes here for the hunters to take. Nope. Ah, the 11 was after the fact. Okay. Hmm. He doesn't have a stake. Because he'd have a fast horse. Unless he's discarded the horse, but I don't think he would have done it. Well, after the combat, we'll check and see exactly what got discarded, because that's also important information. Floor attack. Okay. Well, I guess that's good for either side, because now the vampire's in kill range of a knife, but the damage didn't get blocked from the vampire, so... That means if the vampire has a Mesmerize, can use it for free, knowing it will get countered by Punch. If you got Mesmerize Strength, you'd probably play the Mesmerize now and then play the Strength for the next turn. But Gadami could have a Heavenly Host, and we'll try and play it now against this Reckless, saying he knows he has to deal with it, and then it will save Mina's stake. There's something with a hide card. We'll see what's played. Okay. So at least didn't mesmerize the escape or a weapon. don't know what Godami's got. He hasn't revealed much, so it's hard to know exactly what he's holding on to. I assume it's a heavenly host and maybe a weapon of some sort. Escape? Oh, he had a knife. The knife wouldn't have killed the vampire. So even if he'd fanged him, he'd only be down to 1 health. That's the only problem with the mesmerize. Yeah, these vampires can be really awkward to kill especially if you get mesmerized. Yeah, it's they are stubborn little things, and they just refuse to die sometimes. Not when I'm playing as Dracula; they just die instantly when I play as Dracula. Always the way. Okay, that makes sense because it's a free plotting. If Godami punch, he's only going to take 1 damage, and it gets the plotting out of his hand. This way, it's good because he can just pick up another strength. I assume he's not going to bite him because of the risk of the knife. But what he can do now is play strength, and then he can play fangs. If the knife wasn't used. I don't know what Ondra would have picked up here. We'll see. I probably would have picked up strength. Getting the 1 extra point would be really handy. Just because of the way the Fear of Dracula points accumulation works. You need 13 points to win. But you only get 3 for every move in the 4th week, so you need that 1 extra to make it easier. But obviously then Vampire Lair could scupper that plan. Yeah, I kind of like the Mesmerize there, yeah. Nice safe move, just keep the Vampire alive. The longer it's alive, then Godami's going to have to deal with it again, or they're going to have to waste time sending Mina over there. Sorry, hiccups. They have to waste time sending Mina over there to deal with it. And that buys even more time for Dracula. Yep. Yeah. Rossco there giving credit where credit's due. Yep. He's played the combat well. Sometimes you don't have to be aggressive with these vampires. I know it's like, oh yeah, let's beat up the hunters. But this vampire staying alive is actually going to cause way more issues for the hunters. They're going to have to dedicate time to go and kill it. And we don't know what the high card is either. If Godami gets battered away, then someone else is going to have to come and deal with it. Now plays fangs. Yep, that makes sense. So now they got the 1 point. It's not a bite. But gets the 1 point from the ambush on fangs, which is good. And waited the entire length of the combat to play that. Didn't play it immediately. Once he assessed, I think Godami's got a heavenly host. There is no way. There's absolutely no way that he you try to play it, right? Surely you would try to play it. Now he's in with a new vampire now. So this new vampire can't mature. I probably would have done it the other way around. Again, maybe Ondra didn't get it in that order. Maybe only had the Reckless, and then when he hid, the new vampire was then a new card in his hand. Oh, that's a lot of damage to Godami. That's what, 11 down to 3. Wow, 8 damage across the combat. That's pretty good. That's very good going. Not killing Godami, but it's going to buy him a lot of time. And now if they move anybody over here, they're going to have to deal with it at night. And even if they know Mina has a stake, well, she's going to have to spend 2 days getting here. And even then, I wouldn't ambush, because even if she stakes the vampire at night, then she's going to have to fight the new one at night. And then, bad stuff could happen, especially if Mina has horses and stake. She only has 1 other combat item. And then that could spell disaster for her if the combat goes against him. So I have to see how Rossco deals with that. Doesn't really want to give away another 4 points, especially after the beginning. Okay, is Drac here? Dracula is there. Interesting. Yep, Ondra likes a combat. Oh, desecrated soil. Yep, so it did go. So instead of going to Backseat Coast, it did go then to 28. Oh, okay, so Sword has a Heavenly Host. Right, now, question. Do you move Mina in as well? I guess you do. I guess you have to try and take the 2v1, right? But Mina only has one combat item, because we know she has horses and a stake. So he's going to be very careful about that one. And then if she dies, that's their stake gone. So I don't know how do you deal with this vampire over here? And you don't want Mina to lose too many health points, because she won't be able to... If she stays alive and she goes to Bucharest to stake this vampire, how's she going to deal with the other one in the combat? Oh! 1, 2, 3. Ooh, close. Okay, so there's 2 away. But then it means Van Helsing can easily move to 59 if Dracula goes there. Dracula has wolf form, by the way. That's something... Hasn't used wolf form yet. Hasn't had the need to. And I think, based upon the trail they've done, correct way to have held on to it. Oh, interesting. I didn't expect Van Helsing to go around that way. But that kind of makes sense, because it blocks the possibility of wolf, of escaping his bat, or wolf forming to Munich. I mean, you could escape his bat to Munich. Well, no, can you? Can you escape his bat to a location that hunters are in? I don't think you can. I'm going to have to check those rules. I've never tried it. So that blocks off that possibility, which is kind of interesting. I don't know what to do with Mina in this situation. Do you move her in? Or do you move her towards Bucharest? Oh, man. Maybe just take... She might lose way too much health, though, in this combat. They've got to deal with this. This vampire is, like, imperative. Killing Dracula here isn't imperative. Stopping this vampire in Bucharest is. Unless he thinks he can do all Dracula's health with 2 hunters, but I doubt it. There's just too many things could go wrong. And the fact, if Mina had 2 combat items, then I'd say yes. But the fact she only has 1, you know, the other turn, all she's going to be doing is punching, and she's just asking for Dracula just to, like, strength and claw through her. Or mesmerize the weapon and then fang her to bite her. Tough decision. It also depends if he has like heroic leap or escape route. The fact he's really thinking about it makes me think he's trying to decide, do I take the 2v1 or not? So it doesn't seem like he's got heroic leap or I mean, I guess you could move, if he has heroic leap, I guess you could move Seward over. You could move Mina over there, which is only, you know, a rail line away from Bucharest. No, he's taking the 1v1. Okay, no escape route, no planned ambush, no heroic leap. So it's just the combat cards. How's he do it? He's got 2. One of which is a heavenly host. So the other one's probably a weapon. The question is then does he have holy bullets or does he have a stake? Because he has 7 items. 1 is fast horses, 1 is heavenly host. So that leaves him 1 combat and 1 non-combat item. So it could be a rifle or a pistol with holy bullets. It could be a stake and a weapon. Obviously stakes are useless in the combat. And the fact he's revealed the heavenly host. So the question is Ondra going to fang him first or not? Is he going to play the heavenly host first? The ultimate game of poker here. Who's going to play what first? Oh, plays claws. Oh, he escaped. Wow, okay. Well, honestly, I mean, Dracula will be happy with that, and I think the hunters will be happy with that as well. Dracula didn't lose any health. Dracula can wolf form now, if he wants. Sud will be able to heal up, you know, half of that damage tonight and then half the next day. If Dracula tries to wolf form to say 58, that's a bad choice. I guess if he moves to 59, we'll look to wolf form from 59 somewhere along here. The 300s could pounce on him tomorrow. They might just sacrifice the Bucharest vampire to try and actually just kill him on the spot. Seward can move in to check that. I don't expect him to. I mean, I think he's gone 28, so I think he might go to Belgrade. It's risky though then, because Godalming could walk onto you, and you could end up in a 3v1. You will end up in a 3v1. can Van Helsing join with a sense of emergency? Always having to think about the worst case scenario. Apologies for the noises. Yawning and stretching. Been a very... Oh! Now that I didn't expect. He'd wolf form onto Van Helsing's space. Well, I guess he's now far away from Mina and Seward. But if Mina and Seward just fast hauls into Munich, there's no encounter. Oh, I don't... Oh, are they just going to sacrifice Bucharest to try and get everybody into this fight? 1, 2, 3... I mean, even Godalming can make it with a chartered carriage. Oh, I don't know if that was a wise choice. Well, we'll see. I like the renewed vigor plate because then it means if they roll badly with fast horses, they can still then move to get into the fight. If they get there with a yellow 2, they can supply in Munich, or they can heal. That's interesting. I'm not quite sure why Dracula did that. Maybe he thought that the other hunters wouldn't commit over here. Or maybe he didn't realize Van Helsing was in Munich. Nah, he must have realized he was in Munich, right? Well, we'll see how this goes. It looks like the hunters are going to definitely commit into this fight. Alright, did 2 damage to Van Helsing, but Van Helsing can heal that up. But then Dracula gets 2 health back, which is good for him. Alright, so he's going to be full health in this fight, but if 3 or 4 hunters get in, is it going to be enough? But the thing is, the hunters are going to be fully committing to this. If they don't kill him, he could potentially kill one of them and escape, and Bucharest is going to mature. I guess he's also thinking about it in the sense that it's still very early, so he doesn't have to play many rounds before he can escape his bat. And you have wolf form back up, so you could escape his bat then instantly wolf form again. And from 38, you can get as far as 48 with an escape bat wolf form combination, and the hunters won't be able to catch you in time. You have a little bit of time in Spain doing things. Maybe Dracula's thinking about that, and if the hunters all commit over here, and he can escape, then Bucharest is certain to mature. Okay. Oh, the problem is if he gets a stake with Godalming. I should really be checking the discard pile. What did Lucky find discard? Oh, he ditched his horse. Interesting. He threw away garlic and holy bullets. Huh. Okay. I guess he's maybe realized that. I don't know. I don't know. Now the interesting, do you heal Seward or do you supply to get rid of your horses? And you get something else. But then the risk is then imagine if he escapes as a bat and then none of the hunters have horses. You have to try and kill him in this one combat. What are you contemplating, Rossco? What are you contemplating? Alright, off he goes to Munich. Problem is, I had this in a game I was playing yesterday. Just a wee friendly match. Similar thing, Vampire that was going to mature, and Godalming just sat there for a couple of turns and supplied and ended up getting the stake that I needed. And that can make all the difference. And then this plan doesn't, this plan could fail over here, and the plan over here fails. And then suddenly Dracula's in a really awkward situation where he's hobbling around with, like, very little HP, and he's not going to get anything to mature. I mean, is this a bait? Is this a vampire? If you burn a stake on this one, then is there another one behind it you have to deal with? Did Rossco get rid of the horses because he picked up 2 stakes? So you can stake one and then stake the other? I don't know. It's now trying to think too in terms of like, do you supply? Do you... I don't know. I don't know what I would do with Seward here. I wouldn't. I'd probably supply to get rid of my. Do I want to get rid of the horses? I don't think so. Because just in case he escapes. So do you just supply anyway, or do you heal up? Or do you trade so then Dracula doesn't know anymore? Does Seward have the Heavenly Host or somebody else? Or do you heal? It's a tough choice. Yeah, it's a really tough choice. I don't know what I would do. It all depends on what he's holding. Obviously, I can't see what he's holding. I'd probably heal, but I really don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, because this is like, even though it's so early, this is like a game-defining moment. Because he has to get this right, otherwise Dracula's just gonna escape, and they've thrown a lot of resources. I mean, they've thrown their renewed vigor at this. I know there could be other stuff, but I don't know what he's got. Does he have a CG banked up and ready to go? Does he have another renewed vigor? Does he have things? He's used up a hypnosis already. How much good stuff does he actually have? And that's what you're having to contemplate in these sort of situations. Okay, he's opting for the supply. Van Helsing can supply and heal, so that's pretty nice. Or he can heal and trade. If he's got lots of good stuff. Oh no, you supply. I mean, honestly, it's worth it because you might get a planned ambush. And that might just be the thing you really, really need. Oh, never mind. You get newspaper reports. Never mind. So it was clouds of work. Okay, we worked that out. Oh, crap. Okay. That's a real shame out of all the people, because Mina needs to kind of throw away this stake. So that's a shame. So Dracula knows the weak link in this team now, and it's Mina in terms of items. So could potentially try to escape as Bat against her. So he might target strength first round against her weapon, assuming it is a weapon. Does he try to find somebody's heavenly host? But what's the situation? Let's have a look. Okay, so we know 4. Van Helsing has all combat items, and Seward's still got the same as before. So again, did he throw away a stake for... I didn't check the discard pile. Yeah, this is... It's going to be key. I have no idea what... I don't know. Until we see things being played, we got no idea. Oh, okay, I think this might be a Holy Bullets coming out. And that's a Fang's gone as well, so now Heavenly Hosts are kind of now back in play. Oh, no Holy Bullets. Also, it must be a stake then. Knife, okay, so good job not fanging Van Helsing. And punch, okay. So the issue is that Dracula only really netted like 1 health off that. It'd been better to try and break the weapon. But I guess he thought Sword was going to Heavenly Host, right? Now Heavenly Hosts are more valuable. But the question is then, he might have second fangs. Maybe he fanged once, knowing he had a second fangs ready waiting to go. That's the problem. It's even worse as a spectator, right? When you're hunters, you don't know what Dracula's got. When you're Dracula, you don't know what the hunters have got. I'm in the dark completely. I don't know what either of them have. But maybe, you know, it was worth a risk going for Heavenly Host. You know, going for the fangs to try and get Sud out of the combat. But now it's looking a little bit more vulnerable for him. As Van Helsing's so tooled up, he's going to play another weapon. Is Sud going to play Heavenly Host? That's the question. Is he going to bait out things like Dracula can escape next round? Who's he going to escape against? Against Seward, maybe? But then Seward might play Rifle. Here he goes. Second Fangs. Yep, second Fangs. Heavenly Host? Oh, he bit him. Well, he had the double Fangs ready to go. So he took a lot of damage first round, but maybe it's worth it. So he's got Seward out. 11 health. Now this is where it gets more awkward. Like, can 2 people kill Dracula from 11 health? I don't know. Van Helsing no doubt is going to play a weapon, but Mina won't because she wants to save it for next round, right? Oh, double knife. Well, Van Helsing is a little bit powerful. Oh, she has a pistol. Oh, she doesn't have anything to stop Escaper's bat. Right, Escaper's bat will be coming out here. Assuming he's drawn it, we're going to see most likely an Escaper's bat against Mina. Because he revealed the weapon. Yeah, if he hadn't fanged Seward there, Dracula would have died. Because he gained 2 health back, and he would have taken 4 damage. So yeah. Wow. I mean, I get Rossco's point, you know, as well. Like, he's played 1 Fangs. What's the chances he'll have another? It's possible, of course, but the chances are low that he'll have the second Fangs. In this situation, I'm already thinking ahead of what's going to happen post-combat, because Dracula's going to escape his bat here. So what? Oh. Maybe he didn't draw it. Or maybe he just knows, well, I'll take 1 damage off Mina for the punch. Mina's gonna... Oh, but what if Mina escapes? Then he can never escape his bat. Oh. Oh, interesting. Yeah, because having Mina... Yeah. So what I was always thinking was like thinking ahead, because Sura's lost an item, and Knight with Van Helsing, I would just trade a knife to him and get him, you know, off and running. Oh, and he has a rifle as well. Wow. Ooh, I don't know. I don't think Dracula can kill Van Helsing because Van Helsing only has to dodge once. He can just play a weapon now and then. So yeah, he can never escape his bat because he's just got all escape his bat items. 2 knives, 1 broke, and then you got a rifle. So I guess as Dracula, I mean, has he played both strengths? I think he has, right? No, he's only played 1 strength. So from Dracula's perspective, you know, he would be hoping he gets a 2nd strength, so he can play it now and then a mesmerize last, I guess. Van Helsing shouldn't die here. As long as he dodges at least 1 of the rounds. Well, this game is not over, it's going to be continuing. Oh man, that's almost like, oh, that's like the worst case scenario, right? Because he can't, he's not escaped his bat. Ah, so he's only going to be one away now. Ah, he's more vulnerable then. Wow, that was a good fight. Yeah, very. Yeah, that was a very interesting combat. How much Dracula took? I think he went from 14, healed up to 15, I think, then down to 6. So he took, yeah, 8 damage, a net of 8 damage. Bit Seward. But the fact he didn't escape his bat, I'd probably say that's the win for the Hunters. It's not really the health situation. The fact he didn't escape his bat is really important. So what I would do here is heal with Seward, and as Van Helsing, I would trade 2 weapons over to Seward. Seward's still got horses, so he can chase. And let's see what's in the discard pile. Stakes got discarded. So what is this thing that, unless Seward picked up 2 stakes, he had 1 stake and then he got another in the supply. But the problem is then if that's the case, then he's got a stake because he didn't play Holy Bullets. So that means he has a stake, and Mina also has a stake. So they can't deal with this vampire in Bucharest. Ooh. What's this? Charlie Carriage. Or maybe you give Dracula 1 turn to move, and then you auto-apply and rest, and then you leave to chase him. You'll be then 2 spots away at that point. Interesting. Yeah. So I know Dracula would be happy he didn't die there, but I don't think Dracula would be very happy. He didn't escape his bat, or wasn't able to, I should say. It's not as like his fault. He was against a hunter with 3 anti-escape his bat items, and he wasn't able to do more damage to Van Helsing. Because if he could have broken at least 1 other weapon, that would have been decent. And if he can just survive 1 more turn, then he's going to get another 4 points from the vampire in Bucharest, and he's up to 11. Then you're getting into territory where just a couple of reckless vampire fangs, and that's it. That's GG. Vampire there would really help out the hunters. Right, so he's got to deal with this vampire now. But then Godami's on 6 health. Like, he's got to do it. He's got to do it during the day. No point getting a stake and then trying to do it at night. You might just die. What are you doing? Oh, wow. Oh, wait. That's the hide card. Ah, he's escape routing it. Very good. Okay. And does he have heroic leap? No. Okay. Right, it's definitely easier to kill a 4 health vampire than a 6 health on your own, but... Oh, he's got all combat items, so he threw away the horse for this. Heavily host, knives, no holy bullets. Might have a crucifix. I can't remember, have we seen a crucifix in the discard pile? Ah, and he gone with the heavenly host. Alright, crisis averted, vampire's dead. So the Hunters have a bit more time now. Yeah, clearly no stake over there, so it looks like Seward had a stake all this time. I would just supply, don't look for him yet. Give a turn or 2 to heal up and then off you go. Because again, Munich has quite a lot of places, but you can get a hide scouts here. 2 heavenly hosts gone. Oh, both crucifixes in the discard pile. Not many garlics though. Oh, that's actually very good. Very good. Perfect local rumors timing. So you know exactly now, more or less. I mean, you just check 44. If he's not there, then he's going east. You can block him with Godalming. Yeah, you could block Sarajevo with Godalming. Move everybody. Move Sud up to 44. There's no fog yet. No fogs have been revealed, so we have to contemplate that as well. And you got this thing here that has to be dealt with if we're not careful. You know, from a hunter perspective. If Dracula's in court, then this thing could mature, and then that is GG. Assuming it is a real vampire, it's not a bait. But Dracula's got a couple of turns to survive. I'm not quite sure why Dracula's gone inland. Maybe thought the hunters would just immediately start checking all of this. And now Dracula's really caught in an awkward situation. No wolf form. Oh, she's moving already to block him. Well, yeah, I can get that. Yeah, she's just got 2 places now to go, 44 or 11. Yeah, that was a real slice of fortune there getting the local rumours, but they hadn't come out yet, I don't think. There weren't any other. Although the other one had come out. But that's the risk. Sometimes they just appear for you at the right time. Oh, and he has CG. Oh, wow, he can force her into Mina. You don't have many heavily hosts, though. Why do you put the other one? Do you put it in Prague? I guess so. You'd have to misdirect Klausenberg to get to the castle. Ah, no, I wouldn't have done that. I would have put it in Prague. Force him eastward. He'd have to misdirect this to get to the... He's just going to go to 44 now, right? Yeah. Again, maybe because he knows where he's going. But then imagine if you all roll slowly with fast horses. Van Helsing doesn't have fast horses, so he's going to have to move up to 41 to block that, and then when Dracula moves to 7, they all jump up. If they get some bad fast horse rolls, that could be a problem. Yeah, I would have personally put the Heavenly Host in 44 to force him towards Godalming. I guess he thought then it means that Van Helsing could be part of the fight, because otherwise Van Helsing can't get there. Oh, hang on. They got a chartered carriage, I think. So yeah, he can get it to trade, so they can get to 44. Yeah, so all 3 of them can get to 44 tomorrow. Whereas, yeah, I guess in 11. Mina could definitely get there. Seward might not roll well to get there, and Godalming is very low health. So do you want him going in? Probably not. So I think maybe 44 was the best idea. Yeah. That's the only thing with 2 Heavenly Hosts used. Then Consecrated isn't as powerful, but in this situation, it's okay. I mean, the other option is you force him to stay in Vienna. You can move Godalming tomorrow to block Budapest. You can put the permanent token in 44. 59 is blocked by Mina. Put the Heavenly Host token here in Budapest. Godalming goes to Budapest. And then he will have to move into you eventually. Even if he hides, he'll then have to move. He'll feed and then hide. He'll probably move into Godalming because Godalming is weaker, but at this point he's healed up quite a bit. Okay. I guess you're going to move the one with the forewarned first, just in case it's like a Falk. Hopefully Speedy Telegraph doesn't cause a bug. Yeah, maybe that was an option. Put Consecrated Ground in 44. Heavenly Host in 11. Godalming can get to 11 tomorrow to block. Or if he can't, move Mina to 11 and move Seward to 59. And then they're all surrounded, and then you have to move into somebody. Can't go to Munich because it's can't be misdirected, so Van Helsing's safe on his own. And then everyone piles in. I guess the problem with that would be then Van Helsing wouldn't be able to get into the fight, but you could move Van Helsing to 59 and move Mina to 11 to block, and you're surrounding him on all sides. You'd be able to feed, but you're going to get him into a 4v1. That's a question. Would Klausenberg mature? Oh, Klausenberg would mature. It would mature on his move when he walks into the hunter. So yeah, they would have to all go in. Yeah, so maybe. Wait, what? What? Seward's on his turn. Wait, did I miss something? What did Seward do on his turn? He's not moving. Why is he not moving? Oh, what? Oh, is he going to move him? Is he going to move Van Helsing up to Berlin? And but he can't hide. He'll just feed in Prague. What? So you got to do a Klausenberg. That's your window. Klausenberg has to be dealt with. It could be an aristocratic. Do we know what it is? So both new vampires have been used. We've got a reckless in Vienna. So it could be a reckless vampire here. It's probably an aristocratic. I guess we have to assume it's a fighter vampire. One, two. Oh, he's got horses with. I don't. Well, now the way it's all going, I don't think it's going to be relevant here. Yeah, speed telegraph. It doesn't look like it's going to be relevant here. Ah, man. So I mean, he can't get there. I would have probably tried to carriage up to Berlin, I think, and then move. I tried to get Mina to 41. Oh, that was Mina. Ah, okay, that was Mina's turn. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Ah, he couldn't get. Ah, he couldn't get there. Ah, oof. I guess. Okay, well we know that. The problem is now we don't know where Dracula's going next. Is he going to 7 or is he going to 41? Ah. Oh. What? Oh. Oh. Okay, the bug might activate here. I hope not. Okay, he's having to do a Klausenberg. It's probably an aristocratic, because he probably doesn't have another reckless vampire. But you never know. He could have also hid it in Prague. That is also a possibility. Oh my god. Oh, his horse economy's been perfect all game, more or less. And now it's been lame. Well, if this doesn't mature, then it's fine for the hunters. But if this does mature, then that's GG. That's it. So maybe the trick was to actually leave him in Vienna, but surround him, send Godalming into Budapest to block that, and then it's risky because you've got to fight through a reckless vampire. But yeah, that makes sense because you're closer to Berlin. Yeah. Now that's the question with Van Helsing. Do you? I think as Van Helsing, you actually move to Hamburg. Yeah. Yeah. Don't go into 1v1 with him. He could be hiding in Prague, but then he's gonna have to move to Berlin. Oh, he's a mob. It wasn't even a vampire. All right. Hunters can breathe a sigh of relief then. He's got Vienna to deal with, but he's got a couple of days, so he can get to Budapest. He can supply. He might end up killing Dracula prior to that. What do you discard? Holy Circle. Okay, he had that all activated and ready just in case, or maybe just picked up just now. Yeah, that was an interesting bait. Yeah, almost worked. Yeah, really made Godalming not commit forward. Yeah, I like that. Now, interesting. Is Dracula gonna move? Is he gonna hide? Is he gonna feed? I guess if you feed, the hunters don't know where. I think if you feed, you're kind of saying to the hunters that you're in Prague. But if you move, you don't know. Are you hiding in Berlin? Have you moved to Leipzig? Or if he moved to Berlin, he could misdirect Prague to go backwards, but that'd be a bit silly because of the consecrated ground blocking in Vienna. So that's not really a possibility. He is in Germany. Okay, that's actually really important. So he did move to Berlin. That's actually a very good psychic scan. Okay, so we know he's in Berlin. So then if he now moves, is he in Leipzig or is he hiding in Berlin? Hiding in Berlin would be bad for the hunters. I can just imagine that being the third Reckless in Klausenberg. Oof, that would have been gnarly. Yeah, that wouldn't have been fun. Now it'd have just been GG on the spot. Unless Godalming had somehow managed to kill it, but he's already thrown away a Heavenly Host. You know he had a Holy Circle, so he only had two combat items. Like two fighting, aggressive combat items. Oh, sorry people. Oh, he's feeding in Berlin. Huh. Interesting. Oh, oh man, Godalming's gonna have to move. He moves to Budapest. Vienna moves here. He supplies, moves there. He has one supply, but the problem is he's very unlikely to get. He's not going to get the stake. The one who has the stake is Mina. Unless Mina backtracks, that's something she can do. Will you just try to kill her now in Berlin? How well equipped do you feel? I mean, Stuart's got charged carriage, so he could get there, but then he's going to have to throw away a bad ticket probably to get there. Yeah, wait for him to move into him, I guess. You kind of want him... Well, does it matter if he hides? Not really. Well, okay. Kind of knew that. Do you go to stake the vampire in Vienna, and then you can rail up to Berlin? Well, no, you have to. No, you have to be railing up to 30. Oh yeah, I won't be able to get there. Can Dracula stall for this vampire? Oh. Are you going back to deal with the vampire? Ah. And if you do trade, you can give Charlotte carriage to her. Right, I think if you're Dracula, you need to move now. Unless she has a chartered carriage and we don't know about it. Sud has chartered carriage. If he trades chartered carriage to Mina... Oof, that's another point for Drac. I mean, this vampire's not going to mature. Yeah, you need chartered carriage on Mina because she can't get to Leipzig or Hamburg. Let's have a sense of emergency. Yeah, he has chartered carriage, so he doesn't need chartered carriage here. Do you just... I'm just trying to think. Can he stall? Oh, crap. If he hides... And then you have to hide in Dark Hall, then he moves and falls off the trail. I don't think... Rossco's not going to give him enough time. He's not going to give him enough time. Yeah, that's a dead vampire. Okay. Pressure alleviated, so they can just wait now. I guess, if you're Dracula, I think you move into Van Helsing now. And hopefully... It means then the other hunters won't have enough movement to get in there. And then you try to escape as Bat or escape as C. Oh, well, that's actually interesting because he could actually be moving because now Nuremberg's been freed up. But that he could also have hidden. He could have hidden now in Berlin, and we don't know. Yeah, because 41's now left open. If you're Godalming, do you go and check Prague? I think you do. Assuming he can get there, if he has the tickets to get there. Maybe he doesn't have the tickets. And then probably all the Huns could get into a 4v1 with him. If he checks Prague and he's actually hidden in Berlin... Now, wolf form from Berlin isn't really that good, because it's only 16, 21, 41. The hunters can cover some of these locations. You know, Mina could go to 21, Gadami could go to 41. Yeah. No, he hid in Berlin. Okay. So he's probably trying to weigh out the wolf form. I don't think you go in because he might have like double fog. But it's not a very good fog, but he might have at least one. Do you have forewarned? He might... He might be preparing to Dark Hall then wolf form out of this. So I think what you do with Mina is move Mina over to 41. And then... tomorrow, you move Godalming over to 41 and Mina over to 21. So the only place he can wolf form to is 16. Yeah, it's all very tactical waiting game here of making Dracula go into you, rather than you going into Dracula. Because here there are two encounters, we don't know what they could be. There could be a Reckless and a Fog. Fog isn't as powerful here because of the fact it is a it's not a port. Go to 41. Yeah. And then start moving everybody over, sort of incrementally. I know he could go back to Prague, but Prague is such a trap because he's blocked. Nothing's going to mature, so there's no threat of that. If he goes to 16, Gadami can't get there. Oh, he's walked into a hunter. Yeah, he didn't Dark Hole. Who's he walked into? I assume he's walked into Van Helsing. Yep. Because he's thinking that maybe only Sud could get there. Oh. Was ist das? Ah, Heroic Leap. Yep. That'll do it. So what's he on now? 4 health. 4 health, okay. Right, all the other hunters, you can just try to get into this fight if they can. Gadami didn't pick up a ticket, so if he can't. Unless he got a yellow 2, I don't think he does. Yeah, very tense and tight tactical battle here. Consecrated Ground really limited Dracula's movement. Oh, that's a excellent weather. I spy Milo Ice, I'm beginning with EW, excellent weather. Okay, so now Van Helsing can heal, so he's not as hurt. Good use of Heroic Leap. Heroic Leap on the wrong, for Dracula's perspective, went into the wrong character. Van Helsing had Heroic Leap ready to go. I think going into Van Helsing was the right play, just because there's a chance that Mina won't make it. Gadami might not make it. Ah, well she does make it, so it's going to be a 3v1. I think this might be now Dracula's demise. Oh, just imagine if Klausenberg had been a vampire. You know, a fighting vampire at that. But obviously the fact there was one in Vienna made it very unlikely. Intriguing game. Very different to sort of some of the other games I've been seeing and some of the ways that I've been playing my games. Lots of combat in this one. Just a couple of things differently, you know, if the Reckless had matured in Bucharest, that would have been 4 more points, it'd be up to 12. You know, anything, then, you know, it just takes one little bite, and that's it. You know, one fanged attack, and that's GG. So very close, very close. If the Hunters do indeed win this combat, then, you know, Dracula will be awarded with the 8 influence. Yeah, no, Overtone's over. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think Dracula can escape this. Even if he finds somebody as Heavenly Host, he only got 6 health. A couple of some weapons will take it out. Rossco's also won a lot of these games, so... Right. Targeting Van Helsing, let's see. Mesmerize, that's decent. Okay, stops the knife. Or just says there's 2 pistols or 2 rifles or something, and that's it. Oh. Just a punch. Oh, he's left on 1 health. Unless it's holy bullets. Nope. Okay. If he does, I mean, I was thinking like if he had mesmerized Mina, if he did kill her, he would only gain 4 influence. He'd be up to 12. Yeah, Van Helsing's now in kill range. And that's the GG. Mina's gonna punch him to finish him off. GG. Interesting game. I'll just quickly confirm the 8 influence. Yeah, very tactical game. Intriguing. I like it a lot. There you go. Victory for the Hunters. Victory for Rossco. But in no means was it straightforward. There's lots of little things in there. Very cool. So yeah, I'm just going to have to. I'll quickly keep the recording going because maybe Rossco might join us for a little post-match interview, but we shall see. So yeah, takeaway points. What insightful things do I have to say? Not much, apparently. Interesting start, being in. Yeah, interesting start going into Valona and not into Athens or somewhere like that. Got a good 6 points early on. Had the hunters sort of tricked for a little bit there, just because of the way the hunters moved around. In retrospect now, hypnosis, the use of early hypnosis didn't matter, because Dracula didn't go to sea and wasn't able to cause confusion that way. Very interesting combat in Munich. Yeah, then the consecrated ground came out at the right time. That also the fact that local rumours came out too, that just appeared at the right moment. Oh, Ondra just said thank you for recording. You're most welcome. You're most welcome. So yeah, just the event deck working in the hunter's favour there that time. When you get Dracula trapped in like that, it does cause quite a few issues. And the fact that there wasn't a vampire in Klausenberg, then that bought the hunters quite a bit of time. Mina had time to go back to do the thing in Vienna. But there's still, like, the hunters were having to think quite a lot there. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, all the trails dealt with. We can wait, a whole week for Dracula to move into us. Nope. Wolf form was about to come off the trail. Maybe in retrospect, maybe Dracula should have dark called, waiting for the hunters to move into him. But then, how good would the wolf form? I mean, he would have taken 3 damage from dark call and then wolf forming, so it would have been easier for him to get killed. And then Hamburg was being blocked, so that was a really important move there. That Rossco realized to move ahead of him, get to Hamburg, block it, yeah. So that was very well played. Yeah, sorry, that was my Facebook. I should quickly mute. Yes, Rossco just said to me, slowly catchy, indeed. Yep. Yes, indeed. But slow and steady wins the race sometimes, and that's an important thing. I think sometimes hunters, I don't want to be critical, but some hunters don't realize that, right? And it's just sometimes it's about just waiting your time. It's something that I took a long time to learn, and sometimes I still don't do it very well. And realizing, if you can sometimes just let the hunters move into you, then that solves a lot of your problems. But as long as you have enough time to be able to do that, if you're letting lots of things mature in the meantime, then that's not good at all. Okay, right, I've unpaused the recording because joining us on the line, we've got the victor of the match, Rossco's here. Hi, Rossco.
The crowd go wild, he's here.
So obviously the audience have had to sit through my absolute piss poor analysis of that game. So since you're actually playing it, how about you let us know how it was from your side?
Well, when you say your commentary, were you just tearing apart my moves and going, why did he do that?
Well, kind of.
You'd be right to. Yeah, you'd be right to. There was a few moves I did that were... The consecrated ground, I didn't play properly.
Oh, right, go on then. So the viewers know my thoughts on it. What do you think? Let's see what you think you should have done.
Well, the reason I was hanging about in Munich so long was I was trying to work. I had consecrated ground and 2 heavenly host, one on Godalming, one on Seward, and I was trying to work out with renewed vigour if I could move my hunters to block enough and then play consecrated ground on Munich, Nuremberg, and Vienna, sorry, and then force them. Basically, Mina could have moved up, so forced them into one of the hunters at that. So basically, the way it ended, but earlier. And then I was like, oh, fuck, I could have moved the next day. I could have moved Van Helsing and blocked Prague with it as well. So I left Prague open, and then I played it, and I was like, I did actually have enough with the hunters being placed on locations and the 2 heavenly hosts and CG. I had enough to actually force them into a hunter. But I left Prague open, and when I did it, I was like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I could have moved these. Although, to be fair, Seward was very low in health. And I wanted to trade with Van Helsing as well, so yeah, it was one of those. When I saw him in Munich, I thought, well, I was surprised he jumped on Van Helsing.
Yeah, same.
Because when he wolfed, I was expecting him to wolf, and I was like, right, he's probably going to kind of either go to the coast or stay round about Godalming, because he was struggling for health anyway. So that helped jumping on, but then horses didn't do me any favours with Mina trying to get there.
So
it was a good bait on Klausenberg.
It was. I just said to him in the chat, if only that had been a fighter vampire, you would have been so screwed, I think. I don't know, because like with Godalming, you had a Holy Circle. I don't know what the other 2 things were, but you might not be able to kill it, potentially.
Yeah, I had knife and rifle, and had that escape. And the thing I was looking at, I thought, well, he played Reckless on Venice, which was revealed. He had a Reckless on
Vienna,
obviously,
yeah.
on Bucharest. And he had the new vampire, but I knew I'd escape, and I had Holy Circle, so I could have gotten out of both of them. And I was hoping that he'd play. When he didn't ambush, I was like, right, well, okay, he's either trying to work out who's got the stakes, because they were all out on the other 3. So I thought, yeah, all right, fair enough, I would take that one. But then when he went to Berlin, it was when he went to Berlin and then fed, I was like, right, okay, if I can get Van Helsing ahead of him.
Yeah. So that was.
And then Godalming managed to block off Prague. When he misdirected Prague, I was like, right, and then he didn't move there. I thought, well, that's fine, because I can get Godalming there by a train, because I had to get rid. When I did Lucky Find, I got rid of my fast horse on Godalming.
I saw, yeah. So
trying to get a stake to get rid of one of them. Then when he sat in Berlin, he messaged me after. He goes, yeah, he says, you weren't tempted to jump in. I was like, there's no point in jumping in. It's a fog or bats or whatever. I'll just sit where I am. He's going to have to come to one of us, and then hoping the other 2 guys could get there in time as well. So
I thought what he was going to try and do is maybe, like, obviously it would have hurt him a lot, but if he dark called in Berlin, he would have then been able to wolf form out. But wolf forming from Berlin isn't that great, and you could have blocked all the locations apart from Cologne, and you could have potentially jumped on him with 3 hunts in Cologne then. But that's probably his way out, I guess. So I was wondering, with the consecrated ground, was there another possibility where instead of leaving the path up north open to him, you put the consecrated ground in Prague and put a heavenly host in Vienna. Not in Vienna, in Budapest. So he's actually stuck in Vienna again. If he hides, he's not going to put out an encounter. He could feed, but then the next turn you can move Godalming in to block Budapest. There's a risk he would then just jump on Godalming for a day fight, and then he might get away, but then he can't escape his bat, and he'd have to misdirect the Rumatug and Klausenberg to get to the castle. And if he goes to the Black Sea coast, then he's going to take loads of health doing that.
Yeah, I think it was more because of the 3 hunters in Germany. The plan was to kind of force him north because I knew I could block off the route to Germany. Whereas if I'd done, as you were saying there, he could have gone there, he could have jumped on Godalming, and then I couldn't risk the horses not getting me there.
Sure.
And then he would have had more health if he killed Godalming. And then he's close to Castle Dracula again, so I didn't want him feeding up again. So yeah, I was more like, okay, and I had excellent weather on Van Helsing. I had 2 excellent weathers on him, so even if he'd gone to sea and then landed in Edinburgh, knowing that CG had been played, I could have still got, if he'd gone to sea, I could have then excellent weathered and landed in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
But no, as I say, when you saw that, no newspapers, no hired scouts in the first week, I had to use hypnosis. And then, I was like, well, normally it's like a last start, but he got Valona, so good on him. Lucky it was only a 6 point.
Not a 7-pointer, yeah.
Yeah. And then, like I say, I had to waste a heavily host on the Reckless to stop that maturing.
On another day, that could have been a Fangs, and then that would have been Heavenly Host gone, wouldn't have killed the vampire. Yeah.
That's what I had to bank on that, and then I was like, right, well, I hope that's not, Klausenberg isn't something else I have to fight.
Yeah.
But
that was a close one.
He started. It was a good gameplay. He was saying that to me after. It was more. His combat was on point. He took Godalming apart with the 2 of them.
Yeah.
I was like, oh Jesus.
Like a health. That was pretty good. That's a really good going. Yeah.
Then I guess with a new vampire and a Reckless, you'd expect to do a fair bit of damage on them. So yeah, he played that way. He played well with the plotting, so I knew I was going to take the damage off that. And then when I landed, when he went to Van Helsing, I just had to hope that Mina's horses would get him there. The main thing was when I had the battle in Munich was he got the escape as missed, which was fine because I didn't want him obviously escaping his bat.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I had a rifle in the last one, so I had to escape his bat kind of covered, which was fine.
Yeah.
It was a good game. He got the first one matured, which is half the battle, and then because he didn't go to sea, as you saw, I got Rufus in day 1 or 2, and I'm like, oh right, okay, well, I'll stick him to sea. So I guess even if I'd done enough damage to him, he couldn't have, if he escaped his bat from even Hamburg.
You wouldn't have gone far.
I didn't think, and I didn't. To be fair, I was like, 3 on 1. They're pretty tooled up. I put the Heavenly Host on Van Helsing because Seward drew another one. So I was like, right, he knows that Seward's not got Heavenly Host. I could always keep it on him and then try and play it. It was a hunter victory, which is a rarity for me. That's 3 on the bounce now for hunters, so I think I like them.
I was going to say, you might have a new favourite faction now.
So what was your critique of it then? What did you think was going on when you were watching it then? Any glaring...
the main things, like, for me, like, you know me, I'm not a fan of Hypnosis first week. In the end, this game didn't matter because there was no sea travel and no, like, really sneaky wolf forms that you need to Hypnosis for. So in the end, at the same time, the fact that the fact that the first vampire matured, you kind of used a Hypnosis and didn't gain much out of it, I suppose. I'm surprised you didn't sending someone to Galatz makes sense. But then I think maybe the other one, Mina, should have been sent down towards Athens, because that's also a possibility. But I wouldn't have expected him to start in Valona, so there's a chance he might have jumped over him, potentially, depending on how his trail went afterwards. You might have jumped over Valona to get to Athens, just to find it's empty. Just depends. So no, but then otherwise, I think actually there's a lot of parallels with a game that I played yesterday in terms of like keeping Godalming there with a vampire and just hoping that you just keep supplying and get that stake. But I kind of realised by the way you were acting and some of you had a rifle sword at one point, you didn't play holy bullets. It's like, oh, you've got a stake, so all your stakes are stuck in the discard pile or on hunters who are not Godalming. So you're having to find another way to deal with it. But it all came down to really fine margins. If that vampire in Bucharest had matured, then that's another 4 points. And then that's, he's up to 12 at that point, based upon how this game finished. Yeah, and then, or if Klausenberg had been, I did the same as you. I looked at what had been played. I was like, Klausenberg's probably not fight a vampire. You'd be pretty unlucky from a hunter perspective if he drew all of them that early. But stranger things have happened. So
I mean, he did Dark Hall in the first week, so he could have potentially got all the vamps that he wanted.
That's true.
So that was the only issue with that. But
the local rumours came in clutch. S tier card.
Oh, yeah. We might have to review the tier levels and go over them again now and see if there's been any movers or shakers in the cards there.
You must have been jumping for joy. Your wee heart must have been dancing when you did local rumours that very second, and it revealed he'd gone inland rather than going to like Venice or something.
Yeah, it was like, right, okay, and then I got Heroic Leap the day before when he fed in Berlin. I got Heroic Leap.
Oh, I think he made the right move there going into Van Helsing because there's a chance that Mina wouldn't make it. But obviously, a bit unlucky that Van Helsing has Heroic Leap, but that's the risk you take. Yeah.
Well, that was it. Yeah, I thought, okay, I could try that. I know he's fed, but I thought, well, at least if I take that 5 off, which helped, because then a 3-on-1 when he's got 4 health or whatever, I would have had to have really fucked up to have kind of lost that. And where it was in the game, he couldn't just escape his bat, second round, third round.
Yep, because it stalled out to the third week. So yeah, even if he had managed to escape his bat, Wolfhorn would have been back up then, so he could have got far away, but he'd have been hobbling around on 1 HP.
Well, that was it. That's, as you say, if he'd Dark Called after he'd fed instead of hiding, then obviously that would have taken his health back down again. And then if he had wolf formed, it would have been down again. So, and to be fair, if he's wolf forming from Berlin, the chance I would still be in Germany. So I could have done a psychic bond for that. I'd rather. You don't want to be chasing again. That's the problem. You want trying to get ahead of him was the main issue.
So the fact the move up to Hamburg was really critical for that. Really, really critical. And since I saw you do that, because you had really good. What happened with your economy? Because your economy was so good at the beginning, and then in the mid game it was just utter pish. Like I've never seen like so many ones in a row. And then the fact that Van Helsing made it, I was like, oh, okay, you've got a chance now. You can block him almost indefinitely.
I know, I don't know what, because it was all, like the first week I had all 3 white ones were out. And then I think when Godalming lost, when I got rid of the fast horse, I was like, I need a couple of tickets for there. But most of the others had 2 1s. It was just one of those where, the 1-1 or whatever that's in there, it was obviously the one I was drawing. Again, it's a 1 and 8, isn't it? So it's, there's always that chance. But I thought, yes, the wrong time of the game to be drawing this. And then I fucked up where I thought Godalming had, I thought Chartered Carriage was on Van Helsing, so I was going to send that to Godalming, and Seward had it, and I was like, oh, fuck. And when I did the trade, fuck, this is how I go wrong with hunters, I just make stupid mistakes. When I did the trade with Seward and Van Helsing, I was going to give Van Helsing fast horses with Heavenly Host and Knife to get himself up to Hamburg. And then I was just going to move, obviously, Seward to Nuremberg to block that off. And then I did the trade, and I didn't. I gave him Heavenly Host. So I went to move Van Helsing. I'm like, what the fuck? Where's my fast horses? I'm like, Seward's still got them. But fortunately, you can get the train from Nuremberg to Hamburg, so...
Yeah, and I think the other thing too, I saw Chartered Carriage, I thought as well, the fact you sent Mina back to do a Vienna, you could have traded... I think I said probably in commentary, you could have traded Chartered Carriage to her, so then if Dracula had moved earlier up to Hamburg, she could then try to carriage her way in. But in the end, it didn't matter because he stalled one turn. But obviously, then it was on Seward anyway, so you wouldn't be able to do it. It would have taken one turn too long then. Obviously, I didn't know what else you had. That's the problem. That's the only issue being like spectator. I was so in the dark. Like, it's bad enough when you're playing and you don't know what Dracula's got, or if you're Dracula, you don't know what the Hunter's got. I'm sitting here as like a crappy spectator. Like, I don't know what anybody has. I don't know. I mean, obviously, Consecrated Ground was a surprise. Heroic Leap was a surprise. Like, I don't know what anything. I mean, I saw the Renewed Vigor, so I knew you had that in the bank. But I just didn't know like what you had. So yeah, you could have had a Charlie Carriage on somebody else for all I'd known. But
well, that was it. The Renewed Vigor, that's where the horses fucked up for me, because I was going to fast horse Mina to Munich as well for the 3-on-1, and then supply and get another weapon, because she only had fast horses, a rifle, and a stake.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, okay, fast horse to Munich, supply, get another weapon. So I could have, kind of potentially, it could have finished in Munich.
Yep.
Albeit his health was a bit higher. But yeah, it was certainly a more tactical gameplay on that one.
Very combat heavy.
Once you can get the movement cards in place to get ahead, that's what we will say is you want to get ahead of Drac, not be chasing his trail, because that's just you're struggling there.
Yeah.
So yeah, worked out. But you know, he played very well. I messaged him after. I said he had a lot of chances. He'd said he had the only mistake. Was it he said? He made a mistake when he was fighting versus 3 hunters left with Van Helsing, because he knew he had a knife and rifle, so he knew he couldn't escape his bat. So that's why, because he strengthened my first knife, and then I had both knife and rifle, so his escape as missed was all he could do, which
and the fact
was kind of part of the plan.
And the fact that he didn't take advantage to escape, he strafed Van Helsing the turn that, I mean, maybe he didn't have escape as bat, but if he had escape as bat, he should have played it on Mina, because she only had a pistol, so he couldn't have cancelled it. But the fact he decided to strength Van Helsing, make Van Helsing weaker, and then Mina escaped, and there's no way he could escape his bat ever again, because you would have just played your weapons. Even if you would have taken all the damage from them, you wouldn't have died. I think you had just enough health that you wouldn't have died from them. So yeah, you just stopped escape his bat at all costs. And I kind of said afterwards, I was like, well, yeah, Seward got bitten, he lost Heavenly Host and stuff, but I'd say the fight came in your favour, because he didn't escape his bat.
Well, that's it. It's like
enabled Consecrated Ground.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those. It's kind of, by no means am I an expert at hunters, because it's one of those. I'm like, oh, I used to be alright. I don't know what's happened. It's just kind of swing of. I think when I lose a lot of games, and you start losing confidence, and I'm like, oh, hunters. But then it's like, right, okay, if I just take your time, work around it. Is the mature, that's okay, but he's still. It's only, I think, second week or whatever, there was still that chance. And you're right, as soon as you let Mina escape, and I knew Van Helsing would have been okay. But yeah, I mean, that's quite interesting, because I mean, most of that, we didn't even go anywhere west. It was all pretty much round about Austro-Hungaria, and then obviously just up to there. So, didn't get him to, as I say, I wasn't sure whether he made a mistake wolf forming into Van Helsing, knowing that 2 other hunters could potentially get to him.
Especially that Renewed Vigor being revealed and all. Yeah. But I get it too, because imagine if they didn't make it and he managed to escape his bat, he's got the entire map to run into. And you'd have been stuck there dealing with double vampires and goodness what else.
But then in that case, I think I would have probably wolf formed to the coast at Constanta, because Godalming was so weak, and it gives you a chance to lay more of a trail. And then what you're doing is forcing the hunters to come east again.
I'm trying to remember where
then I had Rufus in place, so maybe.
Where did he wolf form from? Did he wolf form from
Klausenberg?
No, that's
no,
impossible.
Not Klausenberg. Sigurd.
Right. Okay.
The one to the left, to Klausenberg. He jumped from there to Munich, so he could have got to.
He could have gone to Galatz. He wouldn't have, because Bucharest is blocking his way. He could have gone down to Sofia. Sofia or Galatz, but obviously then Galatz is very risky, because if Godalming never moves, he's stuck there indefinitely. So I guess you'd have to go down to Sofia, I suppose. But then there's a risk then that 3 of them could still jump on him. It's tricky.
I think that was it, because when it was revealed at Valona, and I had had fast horses, chartered carriage stuff on there. It was like I was able to get the hunters. And when I moved Van Helsing to Munich, I was like, well, that'll block the kind of wolf form move anyway. So I wasn't expecting them to jump on me. And then, yeah, the lucky find was like, nah, but I mean, no planned ambush, no forewarned. That's why I wasn't going to jump on Berlin, because even a fog would have just given him that chance to get away or to even get the Hamburg. So
yeah, absolutely. You did the right thing to stay put. I think also the fact that he wolf formed to Munich. I don't know what his plan was, but if he wolf formed to Munich with the expectation of I can then head west and try to outrun you from using escape as bat or something. Then the fact that he then went back inland again. If he'd just gone to Venice, yeah, okay, he would have had to go to sea, but at least he would have been safe for a little bit. But then he might have consequently grounded him, but still. But then you could have landed in Valona and then done shenanigans there, then left again. You had a bit of distance between you and him. It was a bold choice.
That was it. I mean, oh yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's one of those where he, because he did wolf form, that obviously Budapest wasn't on the trail, so he could, cause when he started changing layers, I thought he could make it difficult for Godalming to get there. I think, I mean, I wasn't sure with CG. I mean, if I had 3 heavenly hosts in CG, I could have blocked him completely.
Game changer, yeah.
Because in Munich, you're kind of going, right, okay, well, I can either block him going north, but then it still leaves Milan, it still leaves Venice, it still, they're like, it's a pretty, that's why people go to Munich. But, no, he'll do good. I say it was, without getting anything that first week, and that's why I gained hypnosis, I thought, well, it gives me an idea of where he is.
The irony, he was in the region that you were in, so you could have psychic scanned it.
Yeah. I was like, oh, right, you're there. Okay. So, no, I'll take that. And 8 IDS, so that'll do a bit as well.
7.
I think you said that on the... Was it...
He had 8 influence, so then that's 7 IDS. Yeah. I can do mass. Yeah, 7. But still, a win's a win and all that. You put some distance now between him and you, so that's important.
I've brought the deficit down on because the IDS after our game was... Well, our game's out now, yeah. The IDS after us, when you got full 15, it's like...
Yeah,
from like minus 30, it was like... Oh,
brutal,
shit.
Yeah.
I managed... the other ones were not too bad, but... And I got Salt tomorrow night as Hunters again, so we'll see what he does.
Very good.
See if I get the cards again, but... wasn't too bad. We shall see.
Well, I'm probably going to head off to bed, to be honest, but thank you for hopping on for a little chat with everybody, and hopefully they've enjoyed your insight.
No, well, yes, obviously. I mean, if I'd lost, I wouldn't have been on here, so... It's a spoiler anyway. But, yeah, cool. All right, I shall shoot off, and good luck in the rest of your games, and I'll catch you soon.
You too. Good luck for tomorrow. Thank you. Take care. See you soon.
All right, buddy. Catch you later. Bye-bye.
And thank you for everybody for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of Fear of Dracula very soon. Take care, and bye-bye.